Welcome to the Flora podcast, a place where we help you create a life you're excited about. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we're going to talk about clearing the mental clutter that comes when you have simple goals. We talked about this a couple episodes ago about having one goal per priority. This is a great episode. I'm so excited. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Flora Sage, minimalism mentor, simplification coach, and 7-time author. For over 25 years, I've been helping women like you align into a life that you are wildly obsessed with by helping you clear the 9 types of clutter keeping you from a life that you love. What are those 9 types of clutter? They are mental, spiritual, emotional, digital, financial, daily, body, process, and environmental clutter. My YouTube page is where I share environmental decluttering tips, and here on the podcast, I share with you how to declutter the rest. Please subscribe or follow this feed so you get notified every time an episode is released. And today, we are going to talk about how to clear the mental clutter that comes up with having really simple goals. So this is something that we spoke about several episodes ago, and I have gotten very interesting responses, comments, and emails from that episode, and mainly this fear of, Flora, this feels too simple. Like, I don't understand why I'm getting the results that I am. I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I'm dropping the ball because a lot of the times as women, we have to carry the weight, or we've been taught to carry the weight. We don't have to, but we choose to. Sometimes we feel this perceived obligation that we have to do it all, we have to be it all, we have to have it all. And I don't advocate for that in any way, shape, or form. I used to be a big proponent of the go big or go home, and y'all know that is not the case now. Y'all know that I'm all about simple, all about minimalistic, and not minimalistic as in nothing or very stark, is just have in your life what's relevant for you and where you're going. We talked about paring down your goals from maybe having 5 or 10 to just 1 per priority. One of the examples I gave was for your health goal. Let's just say you want to get healthier, you want to lose weight, you want to get your triglycerides in check. And I gave the example of just cutting out sugar. That's it. No exercise routine, no fancy diet, no whatever, just cutting out sugar. And one of the people that I've been communicating with in email, she says, Flora, I can't believe I'm seeing so much change with just doing one thing. I don't understand this. And she's kind of freaking out about it. And I've gotten, like I said, many other emails that people are going like, what's going on here? Why is this happening? And we think it needs to be more complicated, or it needs to be more steps involved and all these other things. And the cool thing about doing one thing that is going to make a change is what you're doing is you're implementing and creating what's called a keystone habit. Now, I first heard about keystone habits many years ago when I read The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. And when I read that, I was like, oh, a keystone habit. That's the one habit that if done daily will change your life. And I actually quote Stephen Covey in my book, The 1 Degree Shift, about that question that he asks is, what's one thing you can do every single day that will make the biggest change in your life? And again, that's that keystone habit. And so by allowing yourself to say, and use your intuition with this, what is one thing for my health that I know would make the biggest difference, or I'm guessing would make the biggest difference? What's the one thing in my finances, if done daily, would make the biggest impact? What's one thing in my relationships, if done daily, would make the biggest impact? And you'll get that intuitive knowing kind of drop into your head of stop processed foods, or eat fiber, or cut out sugar or send a text message to your partner every day at noon to tell them that you love them. Whatever it is. And trust in your intuition. Trust in your inner knowing and test it out. Just see what happens when you do that one thing in each of your priorities. Also, pay attention to your mental clutter, that mental chatter, that narrative that goes on when you choose to use honey instead of sugar in your coffee, when you choose an apple instead of a piece of cake, or you choose to not have bread for your evening meal, or when you choose to write a handwritten letter to someone that you deeply care about and maybe don't talk to all the time. And you share them, just what's been going on in your day and how much they mean to you and whatever. Pay attention to how it feels when you do this one thing that, you need to do more, or you should be doing this and should be doing that. Again, we're not going to should on ourselves, that old adage. We're not going to should on ourselves, but give yourself permission to pay attention to the narrative that comes in. When this happens, when that narrative comes in that this is supposed to be harder, this is supposed to be more challenging, I'm supposed to have to do more steps, that's ego. And say, okay, I recognize that you're chattering in my ear or in my head or brain or whatever. We're just going to test this out and just get curious. Just get curious. Look at it from a scientific point of view. Pretend that you're in school still and you're doing a science experiment. Let's just see if this works. Again, if that mind chatter comes in, that mental clutter comes in, just say, this is just for now, it's not forever. This is just for now, it's not forever. Now, the cool thing again about this is that when you make that one change, you're going to see a shift in whatever area of life that you're applying it to. And again, this is referring back to your yearly goals and your priorities. And you pick one thing, one goal in those areas that you deem a priority for yourself. When you notice this mental clutter coming in, write it down to help clear it out of your brain. You could do a brain dump. And again, I talk about the brain dump in my 1 Degree Shift book. Let yourself honor and recognize all the shoulda, woulda, couldas, all of the needs, all of the mental clutter and chatter that's coming in, telling you that to achieve your goals, it has to be hard, it has to be convoluted, it has to be complicated. Another thing that comes up typically when someone shifts from doing all the things to doing one thing per priority is they realize that they have a lot of extra time on their hands. And they're like, I don't know what to do with all this extra time. What do you want to do? Do you want to go meditate? Do you want to go swim in the pool? Do you want to go for a longer walk than you normally do? Do you want to take a nap? Do you want to watch that new episode of Loot that's on Apple TV? What do you want to do? Recognize that yes, life can be simple. Goals can be simple and easy to achieve. And one very strategic and intentional action towards your priorities daily can give you the life that you want. It really, truly can be that simple. So again, to kind of wrap up, to clear the mental clutter that comes in by committing to one thing per priority is to first, recognize there's mental clutter there. Second, do a brain dump, get it all out. Third, you can use that mantra, this is just for now, it's not forever. I'm just gonna see if this works. This is just kind of a scientific experiment, just to see if this one action is going to make a change or not. Now, for some of you, it might not make a change. You do one thing, and, because there's all different kinds of outside forces and factors going on, especially if it involves other people. But if you truly commit to one thing for a month and you don't see results, pick something else. Don't change the priority. Change the one thing that you do for that particular priority. There's that old saying, if at first you don't succeed, try again. So give yourself permission to just keep trying. But chances are, if you say, this is my priority, or these are my priorities, what is one thing, if done daily, will make the biggest impact in my life over the next year? And you get that intuitive download of one thing per priority, Stick to it, implement it, recognize the mental clutter that comes in, honor it, do the brain dump to get it all out on paper, and say, okay, this is just for now, it's not forever. Meaning, cutting out sugar is just for now, it's not forever. And again, that's just one random example that I'm giving you guys, but give yourself permission to just be the scientist of your life and notice how this experiment is making you feel. Notice what else shifts in your life. Chances are, when you make that one shift in those 3 priorities that you have in your life, you will start to see results. You will start to feel the simplicity coming in. You'll start to feel that you do have more time. You'll start to feel more empowered and more positive and more confident because you're like, oh my gosh, like this is actually working. What? How is this possible? Time is going to pass by anyway. So allow yourself to try this out. Doing one thing is so much simpler than doing 3 or 5 or 10 or 20. That's it. Just pick one thing per priority and allow yourself to have fun with it. Let's continue this conversation and support each other in building the lives you are not only wildly obsessed with, but are genuinely filled with so much joy and fulfillment. If you're listening to this on YouTube, I invite you to share your experiences with clearing the mental clutter that sometimes comes with just having one focus per priority in the comments below. If you're listening to this on any podcast streaming service, email me, flora@florasage.com, to share your comments. And if you found today's episode helpful, please subscribe, share with your friends, and please leave a review. Your support helps this podcast reach more people looking to declutter their lives and align into a life they are wildly obsessed with. I hope this serves you today. Remember, all it takes is a clear vision of what you want and the willingness to take one small shift in that direction daily to align into a life that you love. I'll see you in the next episode. Mwah.